Firefly is that sort of all-in-one, both a destination as well as a integration within our tool set. You can consider it that all-in-one solution.
I've seen just so many images on Adobe stock that are made with generative AI that look so real.
The thing with generative AI is that I do see it as an emerging art form.
Welcome to the 25 AI Tools of Christmas, where two founders explore how real people are using AI in their actual workflows. I'm Kelly, your human narrator. This isn't a typical tutorial. It's a learning experience.
Today's featured tool is Adobe Firefly. It's like having a creative co-pilot built right into your favorite Adobe apps. Let's meet Jay.
So I'm Jay Ganaden. I'm Director of Global Agency Innovation and Go-to-Market for Adobe Firefly. I was on the founding team of Firefly when it was still a venture project at Adobe. I joined Adobe almost 8 years ago to lead the Adobe XD. Prior to that, I've had stints at DoubleClick before the Google acquisition, started my career at KPMG Consulting. In between there, I was an advertising photographer, so I shot for Sephora, Macy's, Mervyn's, Pottery Barn, and Levi's, tons of places.
Back to the featured tool, Adobe Firefly. It's a creative AI that generates images and effects, available online and integrated directly within your Adobe apps.
Now let's dive into the moments that helped us understand the value of this tool and why it might matter to you.
Firefly is both a destination and a set of tools that are implemented across our flagship products. So when I say it's a destination, you can go to firefly.adobe.com. But then, as you alluded to earlier, Photoshop also has features built into it like generative fill, generative expand. So we're taking the steps to also implement it so that, with the thinking that, let's keep designers and creators where they are. And kind of give them more access to tools in that sense. So you can think of Firefly as both of those. The whole basis for Firefly is that we wanted to make it copyright safe and commercially safe. The Adobe Firefly model was trained on Adobe stock. And we know that the images are vetted. We work specifically with those contributors. And if they do opt in, then they get a separate paycheck. We compensate them for generative AI usage in Firefly. So that was an important thing that we wanted to, or important concept for us and principle for us to adhere to. So Firefly boards is one of those where a lot of as I said, the process around concepting, we interviewed hundreds of creative directors and said, do you need another Miro? Right? No, right? How do you do something that has that sort of infinite canvas feel? But what we did was add the generative AI spin to it, right? And so we said, okay, well, I want to start with the brief. Right. So I'm going to add all my client information, brief and project details, and it's all accessible from this one canvas. Right. So, okay, what are the brand values? What am I looking for? In this case, we're trying to redesign a coffee shop, for an urban neighborhood. What do I need to deliver out of that? Right. These are the logo design. What's the color palette? Typography, brand guidelines, right? So a typical sort of assignment. The thing with generative AI is that I do see it as an emerging art form. It certainly has its own look, but I do believe it's going to be its own sort of category. I think there were naysayers before in history, right? So photography is not art, you're just snapping a button, right? There's always some kind of disruptive, something that also creates a new art form. And I think that's the place we're in, right? If you start to show up at shows like Art Basel or what, and you start to see installations that are, generative AI, that I think that's great for that type of artist, right? It's a new medium, it's a new art to celebrate, curate, and so on. So I think we're in the midst of that.
So, is this a tool you could see adding to your day-to-day? Or maybe it's something for a friend or a colleague. Or hey, maybe even that AI Grinch in your life. If this episode helped you have a breakthrough, share it with us in the comments. We'd love to hear it. And don't forget to explore the Define Me stack list. It's got every tool in one place, plus a few extra goodies.